Just going to cover a little bit about my role within Frontier, some of the challenges in particular which I face within my role, how I've developed and hopefully my plans for the future. And Martina is going to cover a little bit about the Frontier view and some of the benefits the ATP has had for us. So my start in the business. I was recruited in 2008 from Harper Adams to Frontier in the role of trainee agronomist. I chose Frontier because of its particular commitment to developing people, its reputation and the scale and the diversity of the business. Since 2008, I've actually changed roles slightly from agronomy to Agronomy Technical Support. Now, whilst this has been a fantastic opportunity, it hasn't been without its challenges. The team I work within is made up of 5 other people who are very experienced, very highly qualified, have industry-wide reputations and are very passionate about their jobs, whilst I, of course, was the complete opposite. Very inexperienced, my basic level of qualification, no reputation, but I had that same passion and drive to develop my career further and be the best that I could be. So, what was I looking for? What did I need? A way of pursuing my studies whilst obviously fulfilling my work commitments. A course that had academic rigour, access to latest thinking and facilities, access to people who are well known throughout the sector, and of course something that was challenging and had an element of pressure because I respond really well in that situation. The opportunity came about to do the Rothamsted course, which is the current research in crop protection. Now, Bob Mills actually put my name forward for this course. It was ideal for me, spread over a number of months, so no more than 2 days away from work at a time. It was an assessment based on a project which was actually based on our own crop trials, so fitted in really well with day-to-day work. Having Frontier invest in me doing the course at Rothamsted has massively increased my knowledge and my confidence, a lot more credibility within the business and within the industry, and it's made me a lot more curious and more outward focused. So now looking towards the future and pursuing my studies further. I expect Debbie will probably cover this a lot better than me later. The Rothamsted course is a credit-bearing module, and I'm now focusing on the area which I've highlighted in red, just in discussions now with my manager, which is the most suitable way to ultimately achieve a PhD.
So last night, Bob rang me and let me know that he was quite ill, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm going to try and honour what he was trying to express to you, and I might sneak in a couple of things I want to say as well, just because I'm here. So I joined Frontier a couple of years ago, and I'm very new to the sector. So coming to an event like this today, I'm going to find very personally beneficial, because trying to navigate and find my way through the different providers and the different offers is quite tricky. So I came from the legal sector, so if you want any information about that, I can give you that, but not agribusiness. So I guess what Bob was trying to express here is a little bit about Frontier. So Frontier in itself is about 6 or 7 years old, but has a very long history. So it comes from different businesses that have been merged together. It's got about 800 people, and it's got about 40 offices. But there's a huge and significant part of the business that is based in agronomy, and being in HR, and I have particular responsibility for learning and development. I'm particularly interested in this group, and Amy is representing that again today. So as some of you will recognise, we need a great deal of motivated, well-trained and committed individuals. We have a very big push for bases in Frontier, and clearly what comes along with bases is all the commitments to CPD and so forth. So some statistics. So at the moment we've got 134 basis qualified individuals, 24 qualified to diploma, and actually we're getting more and more interest in that. And people like Amy are snapping at my heels to try and get more and more commitment from us to further training. So that's a lot of people looking for a lot of support. And Frontier is I think it's the largest UK business that has both grain marketing and inputs. So So we've got people who need to be expert in seed and people who are expert in fertiliser. We've got plenty of agronomists. You name it, we have to be expert in it. So when I look at the training budget, that's got to stretch quite a bit to cover all of these areas. There we go. So this is Bob's words. So he's telling you, Amy, was it worth it? I think he said yes. Yeah. So which is good. So what Bob shared with me was that Amy is a particular animal. So she was pursuing a particularly academic route that would really, really challenge her and work for her. Amy's one of our specialists in our technical support team. To contrast that, we also have a very big group of agronomists who are more commercially driven. And their needs are going to be slightly different from Amy, who wants to develop certain niche skills. So for Amy, this route has particularly worked for you. Bob also shared with me that he really appreciated the connection between research and the industry, and I think you mentioned that particularly, David, when you spoke. It's about connecting the two. So that was very important to him. And yes, he very much enjoyed and wanted you to get to know some of the people, the well-known names in the industry. So that worked, and it worked particularly for Amy. So did it do everything that Bob wanted it to do? Yes, but you also have to work at it. So some of his words to me were that, can you expect immediate transfer of all these wonderful things Amy has learned back to the business? And that's a harder challenge. And so one of my jobs in HR is to try and get the people organised, that if some good courses are being done, that knowledge is getting transferred. And any advice you've got for me on how to do that very well is very welcome. There we go. So so what would Bob say here? So yeah, so I guess it's repeating in some respects the fact that he's very passionate because he's part of the technical support team to make sure that people deepen their skills. And he wants people to have access to the academic experts. But he'd like those people to also work with people like Amy, who need to do it in a very practical level on farm. And I suppose, do I get to say my bit here? Frontier is obviously here today and going to enjoy the afternoon, but we're also outward looking in terms of seeing any partnership or any group of people who want to work with us. So like I said before, there's 134 agronomists with quite different needs. So hopefully events like today and other partnerships that we can create, particularly with Frontier, are very, very, very welcome. So yes, Amy, I think it worked for you, and it's working for Frontier. So again, just to say thank you for having us here this morning, and I look forward to hearing more in the afternoon. And if you want to contact Bob to find out more of what he would say, I'll make sure that you can connect with him. So thank you for listening to us. Cheers. Thank you.